Today's mission report is talking about secret of happy home. It's talking about a person called as Hazel Mayo, where her parents were not so in good terms. They were drunkards. They never had a happy life at all. Suddenly Hazel got an opportunity to get into a university of Sanusi. And there, she was attending the Sabbath school lessons there at the church. Everything was absolutely fine, but she had a thought in her heart that how to see that my family gets back to Christ. And she shares her thought with the pastor. And the pastor decided to pray with her for a week long, fasting for Hazel and her family, so that our family will have an opportunity to taste and see that the Lord is good. And after a week of prayer and fasting for Hazel, Hazel somehow is convicted to be baptized after the week of prayer. She was convicted that happy family starts with morning and evening prayer, and she starts praying. The pastor gives a book called Adventist Home and asks her to read this daily. As she contemplates reading this book called this Adventist Home, her eyes falls into a chapter where it says that prayer plays an important role in reading the Word of God. Ultimately, she passes on this message to her parents who have at home, and she starts praying for the parents. And later on, after nearly 2 or 3 months, I guess, something miraculous happened in her family. Suddenly, mother started praying, father started praying, and they also got an opportunity to be baptized. So the secret of every family's success or the happiness of a family lies when you kneel down and seek the Lord in prayer. Morning and evening, that should be a standard where we put God first in every aspect of our life as we begin our day and as we end our day. And that can keep your family going on. And that's the mission report that we have today. Okay? Blessings for it. Today's lesson is quite a very interesting lesson and a very practical lesson. I'm not going to take a long time. It's already now 10:50, so I have to finish within 15 minutes or 20 minutes within that. But nevertheless, it's a very interesting lesson. So I'm going to summarize the whole thing. Backslidden people. What do you understand by backslidden? Any inputs? And it is much more practical, okay, in our spiritual journey of life here. Many times we get discouraged, disappointed when things doesn't go the way how we anticipate it to go, right? Many times it happens that way that we think of something happens. Sometimes we get fed up. No wonder the Bible is so beautifully, Paul puts it, do not feel weary in doing good. That's what he says. When it comes to bad, whether we like it or not, we like much more to do about it. Where we are not supposed to go, we go. What we are not supposed to think, we think. And we are not supposed to think negatively, we start thinking negatively. But we know that we have to think positively, but we don't think positively. And that was the problem even with Paul. As a whole, the children of Israel in the past. The greatest lesson that we can learn from this one is they always backslided. To be more precise with, if you have to take the children of Israel, what happened when they were there in Egypt? They started praying, and God said, Lord, why is this slavery for us? Why can't you take away from us the slavery, the bondage? God answered their prayer. God showed them the way. But God took them in the wilderness experience. What happened then? They started backsliding again, right? Why did you get all the way from there to here? What happened with human beings is, we usually succumb to a lot of circumstances which surround us, and then make a decision. And that's the very important point, that we backslide. What is backslidden? Any answers? What do you think so, Brother Adam? Backsliding mean?
Going backwards to the forward.
Huh?
Going backwards instead of forward.
Instead of going forward, you go backward, right? Yeah, that's a beautiful answer. Yes, Brother Adam?
I feel like you're either drawing closer to God or you're going away from God. There's no like static place. You are either drawing closer.
Why do you think so we have to go back there? We don't want to follow God, or some people say so. Why do you think so? Because we know that we, as the children of His love, we have experienced, we have tasted, and did everything possible to know who this God is all about. And that's one of the reasons we have made a commitment stating that, Lord, we want to follow you.
But our flesh,
Right?
our flesh is weak.
Yeah, okay, so what happens is when you have tasted and seen the Lord, then why go back again? What makes to go back? What makes you go back? Have you ever happened that to you? Why do you think so? Have you gone back any time?
Well, some people who lack faith, some people who just started.
Why do you think so there's a lack of faith in God? Because we have known who God is all about. Unless we experience God, we don't accept Him. Anybody for that matter. If you have to have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whoever it is, unless you know the person, you don't accept it, right? Same thing with God. Then why is the faith being lacking in us? And that's what the lesson is all about.
Faith comes by the hearing of the Word of God. So when we don't feed our spirit, we're not feeding on.
Don't you think so? Those children of Israel have heard the word of God and most probably met God face to face. Like, for example, the easiest example I can take is Solomon. We all know Solomon, right? Okay. What happened with Solomon? Did he see God? Did Solomon see God?
He didn't see God, but he got the wisdom from God.
He got the wisdom from God. I go a little bit further and say, okay, when the temple, the Jerusalem temple was inaugurated, the first time, Solomon's temple we call it, right? Okay, was the glory of God present there physically?
Yeah.
So which means, did he see God? Did he feel God? Did he experience God?
Yes.
And did God give the wisdom for him? With all the wisdom, how can a longer man take his children to be sacrificed to Molech? Can that be possible? Do you remember what I said? Does that make sense? What made Solomon to backslide after experiencing so much? Even to take the forefathers or take Adam and Eve, did they see God?
Oh, absolutely.
Face to face. What happened? Where was the faith? Why did they backslide? You see? And let us compare and contrast that with our practical life. See, Bible, whenever we read, we should not read the way how we read other novels or dramas and things like that. We have to always apply, more practically, then you'll be able to understand. What happened to the children of Israel? Did they see the miracle of God? Yes. And especially the last plague which fell on the Egyptians. What was the last plague? Last plague. The firstborn was?
Dead.
Yes. And what did God say? I want you to take the bread and put on the doorpost. And anyone who has the bread on the doorpost, they will be saved, right? Wasn't that the greatest miracle? Absolutely greatest miracle. And people witnessed and saw. And what happened to these people? Why did they do that? Because I want to get an element out of it. That's one of the reasons. What happened to these people? And the Red Sea was divided and they walked in it. They walked, they saw. If you have to watch that movie, I don't know whether you watched it, I think so good.
Ten Commandments.
And Ten Commandments, right? How is the water? Just stood up soon. They're watching there, the water is there, standing so high like a wall. Two sides, and everything is dry. And they just move forward. And as soon as they move forward, just imagine if you and I were children of Israel, you move forward and you saw, and then what happened? The Pharaoh's army is behind, and then once you look back, when the Pharaoh's army was behind, you see the water just coming back and giving. Isn't that marvelous? If you're not experienced, that's okay. You're seeing God just that way. Why do you think so? Backsliding comes.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
we're just like Adam and Eve. We're no different at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's temptation and disobedience. You just do it over and over again.
Over again.
Every day.
Okay, so do you think so that we can put an end to it? Will it be possible? No? So we determined ourselves that we go, okay, let's get into a little bit of, what the Bible talks about and things like that. Okay, we read last time. Sister was here, Brother Adam was here, everyone was here. We read last time. You know, the children of Israel, they were so inquisitive to say that, please, I want you to read the law of Moses. Have you heard about it, right? So why was the urgent? When they start rebuilding the temple and the walls were completed, they were so happy, their heart was moved, and what did they do? They said, sir, we want to read it once again. We want to get back to the Word of God. They got back to the Word of God. They were mourning, and they're the ones who told them, because of our forefathers, they disobeyed, and that's one of the reasons we are facing this one. So please forgive their sins. That's what we read in the book of Nehemiah, right? When they were so convicted, you know what happened? Last week, if you have gone through the lesson, you'll be able to find that Nehemiah, he had the temple services reinstated. He made leaders. We said we had choirs. And those people were supposed to be paid by that tithe money. Everything, he did it so perfectly. And then he had to go back to Babylon for some days. And he goes back to Babylon during the time of King Artaxerxes. That's the story we read in Nehemiah chapter 12, verse 30. I'm summarizing the whole concept, okay? I'm not going lesson by lesson. And he goes back to Babylon after a few years, most probably a year or 2 or 3, we are not sure exactly how many years.
12 years.
After 20 years, he comes back, right? Okay, after 20 years, he comes back. Before he would come back, he hears that the children of Israel have gone astray. One of the greatest mistakes, these children of Israel, and you remember they took an oath. What was the oath they were taken? Last time we read about it.
The covenant, they pay the tithe.
They said that, okay,
Yeah.
there were 3 covenants, very important covenants. They took an oath. If Brother Adam was able to be there and listen to this, it is this. Number 1, they said, we will never ever marry apart from our clan. Idolaters. Amorites, Moabites, they were there because they are the ones who troubled the children of Israel for not building the wall. And God knew. And in fact, when those people wanted to come and enjoy to build the temple, God said no. Don't take help from anybody. So God was always telling, don't mingle yourself with idolaters, right? Don't ever mingle with them. And they took an oath stating that we will never marry a heathen or who doesn't belong to our belief. God had a plan and a purpose. Not that he hated them, because he knows Satan would have been used those people to marry the image of God in every act. Satan always looks for a loophole. Number 1. Yes, you have something?
Yeah, today's marriage is falling apart.
Yeah.
50% is divorce.
Yeah.
They're married from a different faith, maybe Christians, not necessarily the same Adventist or Baptist or Mormon or Pentecost. They marry. After marrying, we can, but it's not working out.
It will never work.
But the thing is, before marriage, you need to sit and talk and study the Word of God, accept their faith in each other. Then, today's they're going children here, the parents here, finding the girl or a boy for their children, going to India or going to other places. Even today, marrying from different race, some of them they are so beautifully living together and living an example for others and role model. Many are falling down. We need to spend a little more time before finding the right person. Very important.
And in fact,
Very, very important. When we do that, we are not obeying God's word. Word clearly says that in the lesson study.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are not following God's word, so God's wrath is coming upon. That's what. That's personally I do.
You're absolutely right. I don't want to take the example of Abraham. Do you remember when Abraham was supposed to take, for his son Isaac, a girl? What did he do? What was the first thing that he did? He said one very beautiful thing: "Go to my place, my kindred, okay, and my people, and try to get a girl from them." And before that, he appointed a person, right? Who was the person? A very God-fearing, a very honest. He trusted him. And not only he trusted him, he knelt down and prayed. I don't know, you're going to my place, I don't know who that person will be. And he put a test for God. How many of our marriages are quite similar to that one? We trust God, we put our faith, and we pray. Getting married to that unknown person, believing in that God is the one who showed. Have you put a test to God, saying that, is that the person whom I really want to get married? Is that person that you want to really show me? How many of you put your test in that act? Nobody, right? Because what happens in this part of the land is, you first get to know the person. You talk to her, talk to him, get acquainted, and then you make a decision saying that whether the person is right or wrong. But many a times, even that becomes a failure. When I got married, as a simple example, I never got friendly with anyone. When I was in college, I never got friendly. Because I feared, for one thing, my parents never lived a happy life. My parents never lived a happy life. They're always fighting and weeping and no more about things. Later on, I was afraid of marriage. Even my life becomes like this, I don't want it. That's one of the reasons I never got friendly. And there was a text in the Bible. The Bible says, as I always repeat, my ways are not your ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts. And I said, oh, you have a way, you have not, okay, let me follow, you show me. And as was I graduated in 1999, I started praying more than 3 to 4 times a day, saying that, Lord, I'm not interested in marriage. Please let me know who the person is all about if you have to get remarried. Suddenly there's a proposal came. 2, 3 proposals came. God said straight to me, no, no, no. Even though they were so appealing, so good in every end. My wife, I did my master's in theology. My wife was just doing the 11th grade. I'll tell you the example. When you talk about marriage, when you put your trust in God. I am from a well city background. And she was from a village background. She never even knew how to speak English. She's a very introvert. I was a little bit of extrovert. In every aspect, we were opposite. I like dark girls. She was absolutely very fair. Just imagine, you are a master's and you found a girl of doing 11th grade. If God has shown you, what would have been your reaction? Hard to accept first, right? She is not even equal to me. Age, a lot of difference. When I prayed, God said, that is the person. I put 3 tests to God. God answered all those 3 tests. That is the person. I could hardly believe I will get married to a person whom I don't like. My brothers and sisters in Christ, 19 years of marriage, they never come back till today. Not even a single day we had an argument. What I mean to say is this. You obey the principles of the word and ask God. And remember the Bible says very clearly, ask him with charity, and give him. What do we ask? Usually what happens in this part of the land is, I never knew who she was. And I got married, I just saw her only once, for 1 hour, that's all. I got married. 19 years of marriage. And people even still call us today as lovebirds. The day we got married from the first day till today, we are just the way as though we got married yesterday. You get my point, what I'm trying to say? When God shows, He always gives you the best. Usually what happens here is, we try to find a person and ask God, Lord, please bless the person whom I have chosen. And many times we might be wrong. God can never be wrong. Did you get my point? It's very hard to accept it, right? But that's the way how God works mysteriously. You will trust in God. That's what implicit faith. Why do you backslide? Many times what happens? We make a decision on our own, then put the blame on God. Same thing happened to the children of Israel. God said, please don't get married with a heathen. What they did? Nehemiah disappeared, which means the prophet is not there. The presence of a maiden is not there. The word of God was alienated. They stopped praying and they made their own decision. Did you get my point? When you make your own decision, what happens? Everything collapses. And then again we start blaming God. What is this, God? That's the first covenant they took an oath stating that we will not do it, but they broke that. Number 2, they said that 1/10 of the tithe should be given to the temple service, right? Why? Because those people who are working for the temple, like the musicians, like the pastor, or whoever it might be, they have to be fed by whom? By the temple. So who is going to take care? So everybody taking the oath stating that we are going to do 1/10 of our offering, where? To the treasury of God. How do we know that? We know Abraham. We know Abraham. When he said, Lord, you bless me, I'm going to give my 1/10 of my portion. And we know a person called Melchizedek, who was the king of Salem, and who was even the priest. And Abraham made an oath, and he gives that 1/10 off to this king. So that, the oath has been. What about Jacob? When he prayed, you remember he ran away from his home? You know the story of Jacob, right? What's the meaning of Jacob? Deceiver. Did he deceive?
Yes.
Oh, and again, was he deceived? Yes. Okay. But the day he ran out, that evening, he came to a place and he was sleeping, and then what happened? He had a dream. What was the dream? Angels
A ladder.
walking up and down. That was the dream. And early in the morning he gets up and he says, Lord, you bless me. Next time when I be able to come here, I will be able to build a place for you. Right there. House. Did he give an oath? Yes. 1/10. What I'm going to say is this. What happened to the children of Israel? When Nehemiah and Ezra left, something drastic took place. They were unable to give their tithe and offering to the church. You know why? They had a reason. Very good reason they had. What was the reason? We had the high priest. He got his daughter married to a person called Tobias' son. God already told them don't get married with heathens, but he gave an opportunity to come here, and then he gives a portion of the temple for him to come and stay. keep was eroded, and the people were so much angry against things which is happening with the administration. The leadership was falling apart. The leadership was not doing the way how it is supposed to. So people lost their faith in the leadership where Nehemiah and Ezra had already been established of. So if the tithe was not being paid, what about the people who are working? Can they work just freely? They have families. They have to take care. So what they did? What they did? They left the temple and started working outside. Now who's going to take care of the temple now? So the temple was left desolate. You remember the same thing happened when Jesus came 2,000 years ago? When he entered into the temple, what happened? What did he say? What did he say? My house is supposed to be the house of worship. But you leaders, you people, what you done? You made it boss. Thereof, thieves. Was he angry? You saw the indignation of Christ. No power on earth could stop him. I'm telling you, there were how many people? You know, the priests and the Levites, they all were so strong. They would have hammered him. They would have done, who are you to come and tell me, right? They were always against Christ. But what happened? The divinity flashed through the humanity through Christ. Nobody was able to, once they saw his eyes, they were fearfully, they did not want to do. Thousands of people were there in the temple. But the signal time for Jesus, he took in charge. That makes sense? Backslidden. That's the second oath. They forsake. The forsook. There was the third oath, the third covenant. Number one, God said, do not get married with idolaters. And they took the oath and they break it. Number two, they said they're going to give that 1/10 of the right to the temple, and they broke even that covenant. Number three, the Sabbath covenant. They took an oath stating that we will keep the Sabbath. And they broke that Sabbath experience. So Nehemiah, after 12 years, is coming back. After listening to all these rumors, he wants to come back again. And Nehemiah chapter 12 and 13 deals with the issue of what people were doing about. Sabbath desiccated. Tithe and offering completely forgotten. Intermarriage with the other idolaters started. What do you think so Nehemiah was supposed to do now? What was Nehemiah supposed to do? How can they rectify this issue? He pleads with the Lord, Lord, what is happening? Please be there with us. You see the backslidden Israel? One mistake leads to another. Another mistake leads to another. Another mistake leads to another. Ultimately, God is absolutely forsaken. Now, you tell me, I want to ask you a question. What is the mistake of God?
God never made mistakes.
God never does any mistake? Okay. That's what people ask. Why all this problem on this earth? Brother Adam, what can you do? Huh?
It's not from God.
It's not from God. That when something wrong goes on, he should be able to take initiative, right? Why is he not taking initiative?
When we don't follow God, God is clear in telling us what to do. When I don't follow God and I follow my own thing, even in marriage, not looking for Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. You be the right person for the other person. I should be the right person for my other. I should be humble myself and have a lot of patience and love for the other person. Not looking for Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. It's never going to be.
Okay. Listen to this statement. Okay. Beautifully said. I want to ask you a question. Why do you think that the Bible does not specifically mention what we should and we should not do? Many times it is not that way. Many times the Bible says to each one of us what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad. Why is that we have not been able to choose what is right? God knows we have to keep the Sabbath, but still we don't want to. Various reasons, various theories, most probably. God knows that He's telling us to make sure that we have to give a tithe and offering, and still we don't want to do it. We have all the reasons. Because administration is not good, and these are the people who will hold a lot of things. Why should we be able to give a tithe and offering here? God says don't get married with them. No, those girls are more beautiful than the person whom I see. Or we give an excuse. Most probably, I want to win one soul for Christ. You know, by getting married. Same thing happened with Solomon. Same thing happened with Samson. He thought he's going to win souls for Christ. And what happens? We violate God's principle in every angle, fall into the pit. And again, when we are in the pit, there is no option. There is one person who has to come and pick it up. It is Christ and Christ alone. When Adam and Eve sinned, who came behind them? Adam and Eve never said, oh please Lord, we have done this, please help us, we're sorry. Did they say that? What did they do? Instead of they started giving excuses, right? What did God say? Adam, Adam, where art thou? Where was Adam? Hiding. Why are you mad? What happened to you? Is there any problem? Did he eat the fruit which I told him to not eat? What was his answer? Not I, Lord. It is that you who created this beautiful lady. God asked her, what happened, lady? Have you eaten the fruit that I told you to not eat? It is not I, Lord, but it is that you who created this serpent. What is happening with each one of us? You know, the temptations are what? Overtaking us. The circumstances are overtaking us. So what is happening? We act according to the circumstances. Today I work hard, so most probably I will not pray. God understands. One day. Or today I'm supposed to pay my tithe and offering, but what to do? I have a lot of bills to pay. So let me clear them. Most probably next time I will try to do that. We procrastinate doing God's will rather putting our way first. What happens? On a gradual process you start, backsliding. That was the problem of the Jews. Have you ever made a covenant with God? When was the first covenant you made? Have you made any covenant, sister, with God? Okay, most probably, I was asked you a question. When you are baptized, we take an oath, right? How many of you are baptized? All of you, right? Oh, praise the Lord, good. All of you have been baptized. So, have you made that, oath in front of the church, in front of the angels, and things like that, saying that, oh, yes, I'm going to do this, right? Remember the day that you made an oath. And I don't know how many years passed that you were baptized. I was baptized more than 19 years ago, 20 years ago. Okay? And I remember the day I took an oath when I accepted Jesus, my personal Savior. It was so beautiful. Very beautiful experience, right? And let us remember today, most of you are baptized for 40 years, 30 years, 50 years. How much of the oath that you are taking on the day of baptism that you have designated today? Does it make sense? Why do you make the covenant then? Why have we backslidden today? Let's interpret that a little bit. What we can learn from this lesson? Are we better off than the children of Israel? What is that we are asked to do? Are we slack in keeping God's word? Is there a problem in God's word or in our action? How can we rectify that? Backslidden is simple phenomena. It simply says, you take an oath stating that I will do, but you don't do it. After taking the oath, you're supposed to look forward, but you go backward. How is our spiritual journey in this 21st century? How is our relationship with Christ? How is our relationship with God's word as we read daily? Is it making an impact in our life? Do you think so? Nehemiah and Ezra's absence will make a huge difference in changing our motives and our way of life. A thought to be pondered upon. History is going to repeat again, right? History is going to repeat again. And we are just the same spiritual Israel. Even though we are not from the clan or the blood of Abraham, but in faith, by the blood of Christ, you are a part of Abraham. They're supposed to be called as the children of faith. So let's examine ourselves where we are. May this lesson teach us that. Let us not go backslide. And Jesus is always ever willing, with his outstretched arm, calling you and me to be a part of it. Never disappoint my Lord. Never disappoint the Lord whom you have trusted, because when you are there with him or not, that's a different question, but he is ever there with you. May God bless each one of us as we come. Any questions we have? Backslidden people. Backslidden people. The offering will be correct. Any questions? Sister, Lenny, any questions you have? Brother Adam, any questions? Any clarifications?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when the leaders make a mistake, what should have been done?
When the leaders make a mistake, what should you do, right? Do you follow the leader or Christ? Please tell me.
We follow Christ.
Oh, is it so? Just because the leader has made a mistake, so you violate God's law? When the leaders make a mistake, what should we do? That was your question, right?
Now, of course, we leave the church and go to another church, but we have many churches, but those days I don't think they had. So what could have been done for them?
The thing is, the biblical principle is absolute. I don't know whether you agree with this, okay? Listen to me this one. Whatever the circumstances might be, either life or death, when God says go, please what? Go. When God says keep quiet, you just keep quiet. We don't follow people. If you follow people and come into the presence of the Lord, so when you see people erring, what happens? You get yourself disappointed. I thought this is Abdullah is a very nice person. That's one of the reasons I thought, okay, I should be able to follow Christ. If you think that way and come here, when you see her doing some mistake or pastor doing some mistake, what happens? You'll be disappointed. Man, the principle of the word is not any humanity's way of life. It is God's way of life. You have accepted Jesus. You said that I'm going to follow your principle, whatever the circumstances might be.
Okay.
Yes?
That's another reason why people backslide.
That's not the reason. What I mean to say is, we have the biblical examples being given. That shouldn't be the reason for them to continue the way how the Lord really wanted to. You see?
So,
And that's the same mistake that we made. Yes, Sister Lalita.
so because the priest was wrong, and even the storehouse was given to the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
And you think the members should have still continued to give the tithe, and then this will be going to the wrong place, wrong person, and you see that is happening, and what do you do?
That's what I'm talking about. You know,
You still continue to give thanks.
We'll be asked about, okay? And the Bible is teaching us a lesson for each one of us. When the leader is wrong, the whole flock is wrong, right? And you ask a very valid question. No, yes. Well, that's the way how you mislead. Like for example, I'm a pastor. Oh, you trust us so much in every angle. Okay, and then what would the say would be the ultimate thing that no pastor will say, oh, that's not the word of God. I would be able to manipulate it, and that's absolutely wrong. Number one. Number two, when it comes to the principle of the Bible, when it says, I want you to do this, like for example, you ask very straight, can we be able to give the tithe and offering just that way? When it has been misused, right? For me, I do accept that and say, sometimes yes, because we are giving to God, not to people. Even though sometimes it has been misused in a different way, I don't know. But still, God is not going to hold accountable. God is going to hold accountable for the person who is misusing it, but He is going to bless you for being faithful. You might change churches, go from this church, one other church, from that church. You think so? The situation will change? No way. Everywhere you go, there is a problem. Everywhere you go, you have a leadership crisis. Everywhere you go, there is one thing or the other. Do you agree there?
Yes.
Do you agree there? You leave this church and go anywhere. Okay? Is that perfect? It is going to be worse. And the Bible says it very clearly, in the last days, before the Lord will come the second time, the last church is called as the Laodicean church, which is the lukewarm church, which is, what's the meaning of lukewarm?
Not cold, not hot.
Which means not good, not bad, not righteous, not unrighteous, neither they follow Christ. Now what are you going to do? You stop giving tithe and offering? Violate your law? That makes sense? That makes sense? Anything more to add?
I have something to say about tithe and offering. The Bible clearly says, even this himself has said in Malachi, if you bring your tithes and offerings to the master of my house, you will receive manifold blessings. But it doesn't matter where the tithe goes or how it is being misused. But for me, like my daughter, I always pay the tithe once a year. My daughter always says, no, you should pay it every 2 weeks because I get paid every 2 weeks. So, we get into confrontation in that. But I truly feel that it is our sole responsibility that we have to pay 1/10 of tithe to God. But it is up to God how it is being done. How people, if they misuse it, God will judge accordingly.
Absolutely.
That's what I feel.
Absolutely.
So wherever we are, whatever we are, we have to pay our tithe and offering. And God will take care of the people who misuse it.
Yeah, that's what I do believe. Many times we become so judgmental. Okay, and say this is the way how it is supposed to, this is the way how it is supposed to. And we try to backslide, that will discourage us in every act. But it's not that let us follow the way how the Lord wants us to. And He knows what is the best in this last
And
day.
about the leaders, from the time we know that the Jewish people were selected by God as a chosen generation to proclaim the gospel to the then known world. But they backslidden, they did all kinds of things that we read in the Bible. But time and again, God had sent prophets, judges, and to rectify them, to tell them what they're doing wrong. But still they went away from God. And that's how they kindled the wrath of God on them. It brought many diseases and war and all that stuff. But today, I feel if the leaders are doing something wrong, I don't think we should follow the leader. We have to follow the word of God. And the spirit of prophecy supports that. And then with prayer and complete dedication to God, that God will show us what we have to do in the last days. than to follow a leader that is not of faith.
There is always one thing, don't ever forget. There might be a lot of Peters who denied Jesus how many times? Who denied how many times? 3 times. But the same Peter, what happened? So we can't be judgmental and saying that most probably I might be a leader who might be ruthless like Nero, we don't know. But I have an opportunity in the last moment. I can turn back and say, Lord, forgive me. And God, what happens is, He forgives me. So that's one of the reasons. Let us be very mindful. Let us not look into the circumstances and situations for our actions. Let us implicitly follow what the Bible says, irrespective of what happens around us. Just focus on positivity and look forward to the cross of Calvary, and you will be able to reach your destination. That's my prayer for you.
I have one more thing to add.
Okay, sir.
I don't know. See, when we say something, it's not judgment, according to me. I want to have better things to done, the better way of doing things. It's not condemning the one person or one church or the pastor.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, when our brother do something
Yes.
wrong,
Yes,
it's
yes.
my responsibility to say,
Absolutely.
brother or sister,
Yes.
it would be better if we do this way.
Absolutely right.
You know, I have a responsibility when my sons do mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
No, otherwise I will be accountable.
Yeah. Very much. Very much. Very much.
I have a responsibility to tell them what you're saying is wrong. I'm not judgmental.
Yeah.
I want God's blessing to be in that institution. So if I see something wrong, when you see, say it. That's what we say in our workplace.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
It's not condemning that
Yeah.
person or being judgmental. No. So don't misunderstand. It's not judgmental. We want things done in the better way.
In fact, to be very honest with you, what happened with Nehemiah and Ezra? They came back again, right? They came back to the children of Israel. What did they do? They rectified that issue. Okay, this is the way of, in fact, Tobiah, even though he was the governor of that place, he had to be removed from it. You see? Sometimes we have to take stern actions. When we can't do, why not? When we can, why not? But when we can't, when everything is absolutely, but we can make our voice being heard, and if nothing works out, just leave it in the hands of God, and He will take care of it. Does that make sense? God bless each one. Let's take the Lord in prayer. Gracious God in heaven, thanks for being with us, giving us an opportunity to learn about your word. Many times we have backslidden or fallen due to a lot of circumstances. But I believe, may your Spirit empower each one of our lives, whatever the circumstances might be. We will be able to go forward. Help us to always honor your name. May your laws and your statutes be imbibed in our heart. We do not forget them. Continue to help us to grow in your vineyard. In Jesus' name I pray.